My wife doing that?
Farouk's ready to retire right now. If his wife's bringing us
listen, if my wife tells me, so you don't have to work anymore,
he's
I
ready.
will gladly. Here, take my pants.
I think it should.
Okay.
Hey guys, welcome back to Chai and Chat. We have a very special guest with us here today. Iqra, welcome to Chai and Chat. It's an honor to have you here today. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing great.
How's COVID been treating you?
It's been treating me fine so far.
Okay.
Been keeping safe.
That's good, that's good. You might want to just move up a little bit towards the mic so we
can
catch
hear
you.
me? Okay.
Guys, we just got some new mics. Farouk just upgraded the whole studio and
Yeah.
we're ready. Make sure you guys watch all our videos and let's get this chat started.
Let's go.
Oh, by the
Let's
way,
go.
we have this beautiful chai.
Yes,
Yeah.
I see.
Yes.
Amazing.
Make sure you enjoy the chai.
We have sugar over there in
Have
case
sugar
you need
over there
it.
as well,
No, I'm
yeah.
good without it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome.
So, Iqra, tell us
Yes.
about yourself a little bit.
Where do you want me to start? My nonprofit or my business?
Start with what made you want to become an entrepreneur. I put you in the category of entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Okay, so this started
Unless you
early.
want to say you're something else.
No, that's fine. This started really early on. I was about 19 years old.
Yeah.
Going to college, doing what everybody was doing, just studying this and that. And I was like, really need to decide what I need to do in terms of making side money, because obviously college is expensive, all of that. So I was like, at that time I was working at Macy's. That was actually my first job. And then I was
Is
like,
Macy's commission only? Or
no, they
it's-
pay you
have that salary
hourly.
as well?
Commission
if you're working
if
in
you
a
work.
perfume section,
If
then
you're
you get
working
commission. But if you're
Yeah.
working as a regular employee, you just get the hourly wage or whatever,
Okay.
right? So I'd go to class, go to work, this and that would just be the basic, And then I was like, I need to come up with more side money because college is getting a little expensive, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, what can I do? So I was like, maybe I could start tutoring some kids, on the side, and then just, because I was always academically a little, I don't want to brag. But
You're the smart one.
I used to study.
She was the
No,
one that made
I was a hard
everybody's
worker.
the exam
I wouldn't say smart. I used to work
She didn't
hard.
cheat in her exams. Let's just say.
Let's not go there. Okay, so, so I would start, so what I did was, instead of just, having kids meet at the library or something like that, I'd just be like, I called my friend up one night. I was like, hey, you have a basement, right? And she's like, yeah. And, she had a separate entrance. So that's what I needed. Because my basement didn't have that.
Oh,
So
okay.
there was to be no privacy, right? And I don't want kids coming into my house, and I don't know where, So she's like, yeah, we do. I was like, you guys don't use it? And she's like, no. And I was like, I want to start a tutoring, I want to start tutoring kids there. So is it okay if I rent it out? And she spoke to her mom, was like, yeah, sure, rent it out. They gave it to me for a really low price. It was like $800 a month.
Yeah.
And they're like, just after 4, it's yours. And I was like, all right, great. And then I was like, okay, great, I have the place. How do I get the kids? So then I made like this really crappy flyer, like the ones that you make on like Microsoft Word. It's just like tutor available.
Oh, man, I would love to see
And
that.
you cut up like the bottom so like people could take your number. And I
Yes,
had this
yes.
like really a flip phone. Like it was like the first phone I had, and I got an extra line just to.
So your first phone was around like 18, 19?
Yeah, no, it was like another phone I got
gotcha,
just for that
gotcha.
number,
Yeah,
just to get the business, business phone. It had to be,
okay.
Professional.
professional here. But no, you ever saw that phone?
I used to have an Excel, like one of those Boost walkie-talkie ones. I don't know if you guys.
Oh, like,
know
where
that.
you at?
Yeah, where you at?
Oh,
I used to be
really?
in class and my dad wanted to be like, beep, beep. And like talking in Bangla, I'm like, oh man, turn this off right now.
Oh my
I'm
god.
in the middle of class.
Oh,
It was
man,
crazy.
nice stuff.
So I had that, and then so now I'm like, okay, let me get the kids. So I made this flyer, cut it out, whatever, and then what I did was I took my sister and I was like, we're gonna go on foot in the nighttime, and we're gonna put this in everyone's mailbox.
Great.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then after I did this for 2 weeks straight in the cold, okay, like I would come back freezing, and I'd be like, I'd come back, no one would call, and like this is not going as
Not
planned.
working.
Yeah, And I was like, it's okay, I'm gonna keep doing it, right? I started putting in cards, I started putting in people's, and then like a week later, we get a call from this man, and I was like, oh, I'm so excited, we finally got someone, and he's like, it's illegal to put flyers in people's homes without going to the post office and actually having them send it.
Yeah, because you gotta pay the
I
post.
actually
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to do that.
So how do the guys at supermarkets?
It's illegal.
They put
You're talking about the flyers they throw, like the promotions and weekly ads?
How do they do that then?
They don't put it in the
They don't
mailbox.
put it in
They
the
just
mailbox,
throw
is that
it.
why?
They just,
So
they
that's a loophole. I didn't know. I was going up the steps, putting it in their mailbox.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
And then coming back, you know what I mean? So then I got that call. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, this and that. He's like, you know, you're not allowed to do this next time you do it. We're going to have to report you. I was like, okay, fine, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So then I had to stop doing that.
And
then,
at this point, you already had a rental, like, location.
at this time, I already had the
commitments
place.
already.
Yeah, they were ready to give it to me.
Yeah.
I just had to bring in the kids, right?
Yeah.
So the tables and chairs, like I went to Home Depot and I was like, all right, I'm bringing the tables, chairs, whatever I need to do. I got a marker board, put that all up. And then I made a little office there and a little printer and everything, right? And then I just started putting up, if you go to like grocery stores, you have like when you walk out, you ever seen those like boards where people put in like
Right, the whiteboards.
Yeah, where you could just like kind of
the
pin it.
boards,
So I started using those. And then one father called me on, I still remember this day, I almost fell off the bed because the phone rang. And I was so excited because it's been so long. I think it took me at least 2.5 weeks, right, to get two kids from the same family, right? And the father calls me and he's like, you know, I saw your flyer at this grocery store and just wanted to know some information. And I was like, yes, like this could be my first, you know?
Yeah.
And they were my first two kids and they still are with me till this day.
Wow.
But yeah, that's how it started. And I would go, I'd be like, whatever hours you want, like I'll be there. Like, oh, can you do Saturdays at 9 a.m.? Yes, I can.
I'm available
Yes,
24/7, you know?
So Saturday, Sunday, 9 a.m. I would show up there. And this was after going through, like, I was still working at that time at Macy's and still going as a full-time college student, right? And then that's how it all started. And then from there, they would tell more people, and then it just got really busy.
So it was like word of mouth.
Yeah, so it started from them, and then like, you know, like you start telling your friends about it, and this and that, and more people. And then at that time, I was doing all the tutoring.
Yeah.
So I would have to kind of give them different slots to come in because I couldn't teach such a big class at once, at different grade levels or whatever. So I started from there, and then it got really big to the point where like I needed to get out of there. And at the same time, my friend's mom also needed the place because she had family coming in from out of country. So it kind of was like, so I started in January, and by April, May, I had to get out. So I had a really short time there, but I had enough kids that I could move to a commercial location. Yeah. Okay. So luckily, I found one right in the area, like a couple blocks away. And we just kind of like transitioned over there and told all the parents we'll be getting a new location, and that's where it started. Yeah, and that place wasn't like, I still remember it was like yellow walls, broken floors.
How old were you at that time?
21.
21,
yeah.
So at that time, you were able to put together a program that was helping the community and then also scale it to a point where you need a commercial space.
Yeah.
That's entrepreneurship, like you said. That's a hustle.
It was a
what did your parents have to say about this?
My parents were like, oh, like, they were supportive about it. Yeah, they were. They were like, I mean, they didn't really mind. They just knew, they were just like, I was exhausting myself. They were more worried about that.
Are you the oldest?
Middle.
Okay.
Yeah. So, so then from there, just, I kept doing that and continued my education.
Wow.
Went to grad school and everything,
Very impressive.
While you ran your business.
Yeah.
At the same time.
I would go to class, run back. Oh, this
do you know how many times we hear people like, I don't have time, I have so much to do. And mind you, they're only going to classes, right? They're not doing any extracurricular, they're not part of the clubs. I mean, you're like, okay, you know, you can find time if you want.
You can. Everybody can. Yeah. That's what bothers me about like the younger generation when I do talk to them and stuff, especially because I'm really involved in the community. They set these limits for themselves, you know? It's not really like they don't have time, they're just not making the time, or they're not as motivated, or the passion isn't there. Yeah. You know? It's all in here.
It's like self-imposed, you know, what you can and can't do, right?
Because a lot of, when you're growing up, when you're young, you're divided into having fun.
Yeah.
And also building your life at the same time. Yes. But at that time, what's more attractive? Having fun.
Of course.
Right? You want to go out with your friends, you want to socialize, you don't want to, it's the fear of missing out, FOMO.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, you're like, wait, if I do this, then I can't do this.
Well, what about now, right? Like now, with COVID, like what's your excuse now? You have the time.
People still
have the resources.
People still have FOMO.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey man, they're smoking at their house.
Come through. Now you decide either you can spend 4 hours smoking or you can spend 4 hours doing something more productive.
Yeah.
Right?
Growth, you know, you figure, because, you know, today there is no excuse. And when I look at hustle, entrepreneurship, being more productive, even in the concept of FOMO about certain things, right?
Yeah.
Anything that you want to look up, you have YouTube, Google, you have the resources at your disposal. When you did what you did, the hustle mindset that you had, you executed. Like at night, you would go out and put these flyers out in the front porch or whatever it may be, so everybody knows about you, right? Going to the supermarket. These are things you can do virtual now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's
so
true.
If someone wanted to do it, there's no excuse of, hey, I can't do it.
Yeah.
You can post it, Craigslist, tons of resources. I know you have a few platforms on the web as well.
So before we go into that,
that as well.
Well, a lot of people in the community mostly know you because of Muscare, which we're gonna get into eventually. What's the name of your tutoring center?
Best Score.
Best Score.
Yeah.
Okay. At the Prime, how many locations did you guys have?
We had 2.
How many students?
We had a lot.
Okay,
a lot.
That's good. So, how are you? I mean, obviously, COVID has changed every industry.
Yeah.
How has COVID affected you?
In terms of my business.
Yeah, in terms of your business.
So definitely in the beginning it was a big hit because we went from doing our regular classes in March to not having any by the following week because everything had to close down, right? So the transition we weren't open for 2 weeks during that time. That was the time where we were like transitioning to online, what we're gonna do, what platform we're gonna use. Are we using Zoom? Are we using another platform?
Yeah.
Are we how are we going to monitor student progress? All of that had to be done within 2 weeks, right? So I sat there brainstorming everything and kind of like putting that all together once again. Wow. How am I going to know what the tutor's teaching the student? I can't be logged into every session now, right? So you have the option of recording sessions now. You have the options of you have the tutors logging all their work there, what they were talking about, what they were doing. Following with the parents. There's more follow-up now. Yeah. In terms of like figuring out if the parent is satisfied or not, and but it's definitely cut back a lot of time. I mean, we have more time now. Like I have more time in terms of like focusing on other aspects of the business as well. Whereas the other time I was just running between 2 locations. Like, okay, 4 o'clock this opens, and then I had a manager for our Floor Park location. So we were constantly talking all the time. What's going on there? Oh, there's a parent coming in. My phone was always blowing up. So there was.
Do you like the way you're running your business now on Zoom? Or online?
I like it.
You like it, right?
I like it because it's given me more time to myself.
Also, you got rid of the highest cost. I mean, rent.
Which was rent.
Yeah. Which is
so I don't have to worry about rent now. I don't have to worry about, okay, I need X amount of kids this month to make the rent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like before you have to break down everything to the core, right? You need this amount of kids, then I'll make rent, and then after that, I'm paying my employees, and this is my profit, right?
Yeah.
So now we're just cutting straight to paying the employees, paying the software that you have, and like paying for like student material that we have to buy online to kind of, sometimes we mail them the books depending on what course they're taking. Yeah. But that's way less than the rent itself and all of the other.
So what happens, this is something I was thinking about the other day, right? So now that most of the classes are virtual, you can record them, yes? Yeah. Right? So throughout time, let's say a year down the line, you have enough recording of all the best classes and the worst classes. You take the best classes and you get rid of all your tutors. This is obviously a little extreme.
You take the best classes?
Best classes that's recorded.
Okay.
And you just repeat that through, every year.
Make sure you get signatures from the tutors.
So what happens with the tutors? I mean, I'm asking that question because
I actually like question.
You mean look, if let's say you're a 10th grade student, you're gonna have a different subject. You're not all.
Well, I'm talking about the
for example,
subject.
say SAT.
Okay.
SAT is the same, right?
Yeah. Okay. But then if you just put a pre-recording, you're not having that. You're saying just play a pre-recorded.
Yeah.
Like you teaching, and just play it, and have the SAT student just like watch. And
just watch the same video.
But then there's no interaction. There's no questions.
Yeah.
Right. And there's no like one-on-one there because at that point every student is different. Every student.
That's true.
I thought about it a little bit differently in my head, I guess.
Yeah.
So the way I was.
So how can we solve that? Let's think about how we could solve that.
The reason why I was asking this is because I was thinking about teachers, right?
Okay.
One of the most fundamental
take that
secure jobs that we know are in the medical teaching, right? Nursing and things like that. So when it comes to the teaching job, the way I'm looking at it, understanding a little bit about technology, right? How are their jobs secure, right? So let's say you teach a class, 7th grade.
Okay.
You have these subjects that you teach. Now you have to do them through Zoom. Zoom is recording everything. The principal is looking through all the curriculums and all of that. What is gonna stop the professionals from taking that one video that you taught that class throughout the whole year to replace the teacher entirely? because you can broadcast that video to like thousands of students at the same time.
I mean,
but I think that when you're teaching like a test prep course, it's different because like every student is on a different level, right?
Okay, so test prep is
different.
Okay,
like,
I mean, I just thought about something.
Right?
Say, for example, Philosophy 101 is being taught, right?
Yeah.
For the past 10 years, it's been recorded, right? Recorded in the sense of the questions, the responses, the interaction, and everything. Now we come to 2021, okay? Philosophy 101 is no teachers. You watch a video, but you have a question. The AI is already taught to answer whatever question you ask is going to give you the answer from the previous 10 years because it might be a similar question.
Or
unless it's not, it's a different question.
Or it's able to adapt.
Yeah.
AI can adapt.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is crazy right now.
Okay.
That's true. You have a prerecorded conversation, right?
Okay.
You implement AI within the process, right?
Uh-huh.
So the professor or the instructor is teaching the course, and then somebody asks a question. The AI takes over, pauses that video, and answers that question for you. And then the AI steps back.
We get a little crazy sometimes.
Yeah, I was like, okay, sure.
When we are really into this stuff, we get a little crazy. I mean,
it's like the next generation, right? Like,
yeah.
Like the Zoom, all in Zoom.
Yeah.
We predicted that 5-10 years down the line. It's here today. They're forced to do it.
Yeah.
Like I hear so much complaints from like even my brother and my siblings that's doing the online courses. The professors don't know how to use Zoom.
Yeah.
Because they were never trained.
It just came to them right out of nowhere.
Yeah.
A lot of them are
and they're tired. They don't like it.
Yeah.
They just don't like it. They like that physical. So that doesn't exist. So what I'm saying is this field is not as secure as it used to be.
Yeah. I mean, there'll always be room to innovate and keep creating and trying new ways to like adapt.
Which we can say you are doing.
Yeah. And you're doing that.
Awesome.
So you took everything online now.
Yeah.
Or you still have in person?
No, all online because I can't like.
That's awesome.
Because the safety of my instructors, I can't have them go to homes. I mean, we've had parents that reach out.
Yeah.
Like, oh, can you send them to the home? But like, because of COVID right now, we're not doing any of that.
Has the past 10 months made you like be more innovative in how you can change your business and exceed more?
Yeah, so like, it definitely made me think differently because before the plan was to just open several locations, right?
Yeah. I mean, now you can open several locations still online.
That's what I mean. So now what I can do is I can reach out to kids that are out of state.
Out of country even.
And out of country.
You know what else I'm thinking about? Like, think about something like this. You know how we used to, where I'm from, the after-school programs were like Beacon and stuff like that?
Yeah, I remember Beacon.
I mean, now you can literally take your company and have a Beacon in Pennsylvania where the kids will go home and have after school with you.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I mean,
you can expand
for example,
more.
Government funding is there. I mean, once you get a good government contract and stuff like that.
But I do want to ask you one more question.
What? Go ahead.
What do you think about AI?
What do you mean?
Taking over this industry, this teaching, this tutoring, or even as far as the social media.
We're only talking about education because you're in that industry.
Yeah.
But we believe AI is already implementing in every industry.
The thing is, like, because I see it in a different view because I see, like, the back end of like how the students are and everything like that.
Right.
I feel like that would work really well with the classroom structure.
Okay.
Like 30 students, you have 30 students and you're teaching one class, right? But when we do tutoring, usually parents are coming to us because they're already not understanding something that is happening in class, right? So now we have to structure it based on that student.
Got it.
So one 7th grader might not be the same than the other 7th grader, so we have to separate them in 2 different classes.
Yeah.
This 7th grader is performing below average. This one's here because he wants to advance.
But you guys can determine that off of test, right?
Yeah. So we'll give them like a diagnostic exam, or they'll send us like their report cards if they've had.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this kid's failing or whatever, and we can like look it over and just know right off the bat, like, okay, this kid needs help in
I mean, I'm thinking AI can just pull all that record like a driver's license and all.
Probably,
Boom.
But as of right now,
as soon as he walks into the room.
But as of now, like, this is working. But I'm sure 2 or 3 down the line, we would have to change it again to something else.
Yeah. Of course. You just gotta, the thing about business is
keep adapting.
Yes, 100%. And I think this year really showed how it's supposed to work.
So going back to your tutoring, right?
Yeah.
With the students and getting them being home and COVID, what is the biggest challenge that you are facing today?
I mean, mostly in terms of like changing, because we were advertising as a physical location before.
Okay.
So it was like we had to. So a lot of people were confused as to if we were still at the location or if we were actually still. So we had a lot of calls because a lot of parents were still interested in bringing their kids in. And then you had a whole set of parents that didn't want to bring. So we had to decide whether we were going to keep or, keep the physical location or online. So we had to change all our platforms from Facebook to our website to everything, basically saying that we're online now and that we're only doing online for now. I don't know what the next few months hold. I mean, hey, maybe like by the end of COVID, I'm like, all right, let's start it back up. I don't know yet because I don't know where my life will be in the next few months.
Yeah.
So I can't really plan that far ahead just now. But right now, I'm just taking it as it goes. So let's see.
That's awesome. Good to hear. Listen, all I have to say, some of the things that I've heard and seen, and I know you give back to the community a lot.
Yeah.
Just hearing that part to all the parents, I guess, it's all online.
Yeah.
Let's go check it out. Get your kids, because I think it's so important. This tutor aspect of it, right? Is that speaking from my own experience and my siblings at all, I would love to put them in a tutoring program.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? Just because doing the classes at home is not as effective as when they were in school because their attention span is not there.
Yeah, that's true.
They're in class on their phone. Nowadays with split screen, their classes on one side.
Yeah.
Watching a movie.
Video games are moving on the other side.
Phone in one hand.
Yeah, so it's very important to have that, extra push and really get them to understand the importance of education, because I feel like that's escaping from our hand, right between our hands.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for that. So going back to the entrepreneurship, the passion, the drive, right? What drives you?
Just to make it. I'm always I know a lot of people are always like, what's always driving, what's always making you want to do new things, this and that. It's just, I want to make an impact, whether it's small, whether it's big. And that's also where the nonprofit stems for. It's not, personally, I don't believe it's always about the money.
Yeah.
I feel like the money comes when you have the passion for it, right? So first, if you focus on changing lives or making a difference in someone's life, you're giving them a sense of value.
Yeah.
And with that, I feel like, that keeps me going, whether it's doing my nonprofit work or keeping my business or starting new projects or wanting to keep going and trying out new things. Also, like, I'm not as like, if I want to do something, I just go for it. I just do it. Yeah, there's no like, because if I doubt myself, if I do
have to give Nike a statement just do it? I don't know. Like, I don't have problems.
Nike can take this as an advertisement. Send us a gift. No problem.
Sorry.
Talking about nonprofit, let's talk about Muscare.
How that came to be.
Yeah, how did that come to be? I mean, what do you guys have, like 20,000 users on it now?
I think so. Yeah. We have 20,000 members on there. We started with like 3,000.
Yeah.
When I joined the group. So this is what happened. I didn't create the group.
Okay.
So the group was already there. It wasn't called Muscare, and neither was it a nonprofit at that time.
Okay.
It was called, I believe it was called Lend a Hand or something like that.
Lend a Hand.
Yeah, I think so. Something like that. I don't know who invited me into the group till this day either.
Okay.
I have no idea. But I just know one day someone added me to this group. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, And at that time, I was already doing small projects. Like, if someone posted, oh, this school needs clothes. Like books, or the shelter needs clothes. I'd be like, all right, let's get it together, organize it, and do it. I had no nonprofit at the time. I was just doing it as an individual, right? So I joined this group, right? And I'm like, all right, it seems pretty active. So I just took a long shot and I made a post there and I tagged all the admins. At the admins were like, I think they're still the admins I work with today. And I was like, how about we just start a Donate $1 project where everyone in this group donates $1 and we come up with $3,000 a month and we give it to a cause, right? So you can still search the post; it's still there.
Yeah.
And then so many people responded. I was like, listen, what's the worst can happen? No one's going to respond. I'll get one like, and that's the end of the day, right?
Oh, you raised $5 and it's still good enough to donate it to a cause.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was like, all right. And then that post went like crazy. Everyone's like, yeah, let's do it. I think I got like 300, 400 comments on that. Yeah. Everyone started liking it. I was like, great. And then one of the admins reached out to me. Muhammad, he reached out to me on the side. He's like, hey, like, we want you to join our team. And blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, great. I'm down for it. And then within a week, we turned it into a nonprofit.
Gotcha.
And that's how we came up with Muscare. Like, we need a new name. And then we made the website, I think, within 2 weeks and everything.
So for non-for-profit, you have to register? Or is it, okay, so you have to go through a legal registration process through the lawyer or different resources.
Yep.
And then you turn it over to
So why don't you explain a little bit about what Muscare does in general, besides the charity part, but about the Facebook part of it.
Okay, so the Facebook group was basically made to kind of like, so we have a couple, the Muscare part is the volunteer group, right? Then we have the Muslim jobs for Muslims looking for jobs in New York. So it's kind of like a LinkedIn for like Muslim people.
So what if I'm a What was somebody?
Hey man, let me tell you something. There's a lot of non-Muslims in there.
They are.
I know, guys. Okay. And I asked them. I have a friend. I'm not gonna say his name, okay? He's
Who is he? Who is he?
I'm not. He's not Muslim, and he's a cop. So I make the joke. I'm like, what are you doing in this Muslim group, man?
Yeah.
You don't belong in this. Are you spying on us? What's going on?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, look, it was predominantly made for like to help the Muslim community.
Yeah.
But you know, if there's someone in need that's outside of that, it's not like we're gonna be like, no, like you're non-Muslim, like you can't. You know, I'm sure there's people that are non-Muslim on the group. There's a lot of members.
So it's open to everybody.
Yeah.
But the name is kind of like, okay.
So you do have to ask a question. Like there is a question that like, are you Muslim? So I'm sure a lot of people just wrote yes, and like they've been in their group. You know. Yeah. So we have the Muslim job page for a couple of states. I think New York, Connecticut, Texas, I think Virginia, and one more. So that's where employers can post or people looking for jobs, right? And then Muscare is where people are looking for everything else, like need help moving, looking for rentals, looking for a place to donate, everything basically.
Yeah, I've been seeing recently, a lot of people post, hey, I need help with this, and it's really cool because a lot of people, respond, hey, I can help.
I used it for my business many times.
Yeah.
I used to advertise on it. Whenever we were hiring, we used to post
another thing we started where
a lot of my other fellow entrepreneurs that I know, they post on it as well. I mean, it honestly is a great page that was created to get more Muslim people involved in businesses, or find something or ask any questions, even buying a car or selling a car.
It's
which was awesome.
Everything like it's a platform to network, right? So everyone's on there.
But jokes aside, you do have some savages on that.
We do.
Facebook group.
It was worse before.
I had to say.
It was worse before.
Yeah, because now you guys I guess filter it more.
Yeah.
But woo! I mean, a lot of these desi.
Yeah.
I mean, not that the Muscare is desi only.
Yeah.
But
it's predominantly it is.
Any of the desi groups are just hilarious.
Savages, Someone posts like their personal problems, you'll always get like the few that'll be like, a little bit more.
Yeah.
So then we go there, it gets reported right away, and then we just delete it. Yeah. I feel like you're thinking about specific
No, I'm not thinking. There's like a lot of them, but is there a built-in system where Facebook automatically discredits a comment or something? Can you do that? I mean, I'm curious.
No, right? When we delete
you have to literally go there and do it.
When we delete it, when we delete a post, we can tell them why we deleted it, so they don't reach out to us as to why their post got deleted. So they have that option now, right? So we put in our options as to why we deleted, the main 5. And then we'll send that to them. And then in terms of a comment, we can turn it off and no one can comment under there anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the perfect example of when AI needs to kick in, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about AI over here. What is this guy Mark? What is he doing with Facebook? They need to have an AI built in where it's able to detect these languages and somehow flag it so it's not posted so everybody doesn't see it.
That's true.
Unless it's approved by a moderator or admin.
Yeah.
Right?
It would make our life easier because as we grow, we're only going to get more and more of those.
Yeah.
So it gets harder and harder to monitor each and every post until someone actually reaches out to us and says or we have someone watching it or something. Because there's so many posts every day. We have to approve so many.
Gotcha. So majority of your Muscare's charity work is through Muscare, right? So what do you guys, tell us some of the projects that you have done before.
So, I mean, we usually collaborate with a lot of other organizations that are also working. Recently we just did we did a blanket drive. It was a sister I knew that reached out to me that there's a mosque in India that houses orphans, and she sent us pictures and she's visited there. And, we had to verify it the way we do. And then we raised the funds here and we sent it there. And everything was bought there and given to that mosque and the orphans and everything. That was the most recent one we did. Right now we are doing a project Transform Tomorrow, where we're doing a single mother with organization Muslims Giving Back. And we're gonna furnish her apartment. It's a single mom with 3 kids.
On Instagram.
Yeah, so I think that's gonna be our first project for this year.
And are you guys raising fund for that, or is this
Yeah, honestly, we raise funds for it, and because we have such a big platform, raising funds usually is never an issue.
Wow.
Because we have such a big platform, right? So whenever we launched
you guys have a great support system too.
A lot of people, a lot of businesses support us. I mean, we launched that a day ago, I think so, and the next day we were done.
How much did you guys raise?
We had $4,200 overnight.
Wow.
And and our goal was $3,950.
Yeah.
So we raised a little bit more. I think a little bit more than $4,200 because I saw some in our emails more people donate the Venmo and stuff, right? So the funding aspect is there. We have that down. We're just open to always seeking projects. and
so,
stuff.
So obviously there's a lot more members of Muslims in New York, for example.
Yeah.
Right? So how do you scale this? I mean, whatever you guys are doing is awesome. I mean, how do you scale it bigger?
Keep expanding.
Yeah.
I mean, for now, we're just focusing on making that group bigger and bigger. I mean, in the future, we wouldn't mind having like different people take over different states,
like chapters.
Yeah, different like just how we have like the different job chapters, and we don't necessarily. I'm not the admin of all of those because we have selective admins for those people who are in that state.
Yeah,
so they control that. But Muscare is more of where I am, where I do the charity work and the volunteer work, and we launch projects, and we're giving back in every way.
What is one project that you're most proud of?
The recent one, we just did the school. That took a whole year. It was a lot. That was a lot because we kept hitting barriers with over there, like, sending money over, our accounts getting blocked. There was a lot of stuff.
Where was the school at?
Africa,
oh,
Nigeria.
Yes, I think I did
yeah. So that took a whole year. COVID happened.
How much did you guys raise for that?
I think in total we did about like $10K for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
With like it was in bits and pieces. It was like this is not there. Okay,
Does it get frustrating sometimes?
I wouldn't say frustrated. Sometimes. It gets overwhelming.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm not gonna lie. Especially during there's another project we did during the pandemic where we did the meals. We gave out I think over 1,000 meals from March to April.
I think you guys like shopping and stuff too, right?
Then we launched the groceries, doorstep groceries, and that just added on because we were still doing hot meals at that time and delivering. We had restaurants collaborate with us and deliver, and we were sending orders and orders and orders every day. We had to divide them up based on where they were living, so we had to organize that. And every single day, I would sit and it would take us 3-4 hours.
So how are you running your business? And
I never
doing
sleep.
all of this at the same. How many hours do you sleep?
I don't think I sleep.
Wow.
That's the trick. No, I'm legit.
Are you one of those people that you have to sleep 12 hours? There's a lot of people like that. No, so you sleep is
sleep is last priority.
Last priority. I love that.
Yeah.
I don't sleep.
So how many hours on average?
I think I sleep 4 or 5 hours.
Wow.
4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
I think an average human needs 7?
8?
Yeah.
7, 8 hours.
But it's just that.
Is it weird that, for example, me, when I sleep the very few amounts of hours, I'm more productive. When I sleep too long, tomorrow Sunday,
I feel lazier.
I'm gonna probably sleep all day. I haven't slept in the past 2-3 days. I'm probably gonna sleep on Sunday until 2 p.m. or something at this rate.
Because you're catching up with all your sleep.
But Sundays are always my day where I catch up with sleep.
But I just want to say something, right? So.
But also, I feel terrible by the end of the day if I don't do any work. I feel terrible.
So you feel like you wasted your day, right? Yeah.
But even this whole misconception, right, about when people say I'm going to catch up on my sleep.
Yeah.
You're not catching up on shit.
Yeah.
Right? If you sleep for 3, 2, 4, right, and then you sleep for 10 hours, only because you slept for 10 hours doesn't mean you made up for those other hours.
Yeah.
Because your body functions very differently, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
If you're functioning on 3 hours, that's it. That's the end of it.
Yeah.
Then you're functioning on 4 hours. That's the end of it. Only because you sleep for 10 hours the third day doesn't mean, all right, the last 2 days I'm all rejuvenated. No, you're not.
No, that's true.
You're actually in a worse functioning mindset because your body's almost getting used to functioning on 2-3 hours, 4 hours. And then when you give it too much, you get lazy, you get tired, you're not as productive.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not saying you shouldn't catch up.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I think there's
basically saying don't sleep.
So I'm not sleeping tomorrow. I'll be good. We'll be back to the hustle. So, what are some drawbacks or struggles you're facing running a Muslim local charity? I'm pretty sure you must face some.
We do. I think we need more people to unite together. And I feel like recently the main concern we have is with all the organizations, I feel like everybody, if we work together, we'd have a bigger impact.
100%.
Muscare was made for every organization to use. We don't block any organization off. Yeah, we don't go you're from X organization, you can't fund on our platform. They're open to use our platform just as much as we are.
Yeah.
So we give access to everybody.
Yeah.
So I just feel like with if we just look at it as a whole and everybody just works together, we have a bigger impact. Whereas this is my nonprofit, I'm only going to do this, and our nonprofit is only going to do this. If we all put our hands together and work together, we'd make a bigger impact.
So what makes these organizations not want to work with each other?
Probably different views on how to do things, who wants to lead what. Some people want to lead, some people want to be the front of the project. You know, you really don't know everyone's intentions. You know, some people want to have their name, their logo. There's that concern. They want to lead that project. They want to be the front. You know, no one wants to take a back.
They want to be the face of
the
success
project. They want to, you know, like that's, you know, we see the problems with our moms
this
too.
This is the problem with. I always have this, you know, conversation with people about this. Is like, this is the problem with the Muslim community, right? We are really big.
Well, we are. Not to say it's not just Muslim. This is a very universal problem in terms of all communities. Yeah. All communities.
No, not really, and I'll tell you why. Like, for example, if you look at the Jewish community, they are not like this.
No.
And I always, like, I used to be part of a nonprofit organization back in the days called ISAE, Inspiring South Asian Youth. And it was mixed with, and I'm still part of the guys, you know, whatever they do, we used to have chapters over here. We used to take guys to Turkey for visits, to do internships. How long ago was this? This was when I was a freshman in college.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So, you know, and we used to do internships out in Turkey and stuff like that. But the main thing was, they had no issue about what name you're choosing or anything, because these guys were working with Bosnians, Albanians, Macedonians, and all these guys. And then there was Pakistanis, Indians, Bengalis. Even the chapters within them, they had like Baya, the Indians had their own one, but they're all under one umbrella, right? So what I was trying to say is like, we are so big, there's so many organizations, there's so many different masjids in different corners, have different views, different problems. I mean, if we were all united, I mean, you could just imagine what would happen, you know? Yeah. There are people in Africa, there are people in India, there are people in Bangladesh during the winter time, you know, like you're doing a blanket drive. I mean, everybody makes decent amount of money where you can donate. Everybody is donating, you know, different organizations, but we all do need to come together, you know? I think the Desi community or the Muslims community is too much ego, too much pride. Ego. You know? Yeah. And you're right about, I want my name there, you know?
Now that you bring it up, right? I mean, one of the first thing is, it's a very important point you just brought up, because I want to stop you, is that, so how do you go about that, right? So like, you know, for ourselves as individuals, right? We have that ego. Yeah. We're in that community. How do we tell ourselves, how do we overcome that?
So
what is the message that we need to give?
There needs to be one body, right? You could have different organizations. There's no problem with that. Me and you, we can have our own organization. It could be Bangladesh United Muslims of America. Yeah. She can have her own organization, but we all need to be united. Yeah. If we're all, you know, because look at how masjids work, right? Yeah. You have two masjids on the same block. Fighting. Or, you know, you have one masjid that's Bangladeshi, you have another masjid that's Pakistani. You know, our dads, yes, I understand our dads went to these masjids because they didn't understand English much. They wanted to hear the khutbah in Bangla or in Urdu, which I understand. You know, but we're at a time right now where it should be all in English, because if the kids don't understand it, the parents understanding it doesn't really do justice anymore. You know, you should have understood it already. You know, I get it. Every organization, there can be thousands of organizations, but there needs to be one body organization. Everybody united, everybody talking to each other to see how they can help. Like, for example, if you start a blanket drive, and you reach out to us, hey, Salman, you know, we're doing a blanket drive. If you guys want to get your guys to help donate here, I should promote that. Tell my people to
collaborate, work together. You know, I mean, there are some organizations that do, but then I feel like there's still a lot more work needed to be done because we're still divided. Yeah, we're really divided.
So what is your message? You running it, you being in the front. Yeah, like you seeing the challenges, and you also seeing, if we come together, how much we can achieve.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, definitely. If people come together, we can help more people, and that should be the ultimate goal, right? Yeah. If your intentions are to help people, then we need more people to come together and work together. Yeah. And that's what's setting us back and making that big impact, because you have a lot of good people working in the community that are actually, you know, trying to make a difference in this world with no other intentions, none of that. But then you have the other side, whereas, you know, there's also people out there that are just looking for, you know, fame or whatever it is, or, you know. Yeah.
I mean, that's the hard part.
And that's the hard part. And to decipher that and to, you know, tell everyone, like, listen, like, you know, we're here all for the same cause. Like, no one's here, like, I'm not here to get famous. Like, I'm here, like, of course, like, when you work in the community, people just know you, right?
You just get well known.
Just get well known, but your intention is still just to give back. It's not like my mindset since day one has still been the same, to give back. You know, because if it was for fame or anything like that, it would have shown by now. Like you could tell. You know what I mean? You can't hide that for long. There's no you would see lack of consistency, lack of a lot of things.
Lack of drive after a little bit. Lack of drive.
Like, how long are you going to fake it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, after a while, it comes out, you know?
100%. The passion, the drive, the genuine of actually doing something, you know, pulls through everything else, right?
Yeah.
You can have that. It's not temporary, right? Giving back to the community can be temporary.
Yeah,
right?
It can be.
It's a lifelong commitment, something you do your whole life, and you also want to set an example for the upcoming generations after you, and, you know, like, for them to kind of lead the path for them, like, hey, you know, there are people out there giving back, and you should join, and that's the ultimate goal, is to show the generations after us.
You know, it should be part of our lifestyle totally. Yeah. You know, giving back is like, being Muslims, giving back is like one of the biggest things.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to be donating money only. People always have that misconception.
That's another thing I wanted to
people have that misconception of like, you have to, you know, give $1 or $2.
More than money, we need people to give their time.
Yeah.
Even the fact of giving ideas, or talking to people, getting people together.
Let us know like what do you want. Like, we're always open. Like we have our email, we have our Facebook page. Let us know like, oh, we want to do this, we want to do that. We'll make it happen. You know what I mean? But we need people to come together, give their time. Yeah. You know, a lot of people, like, not gonna lie, like, we reach out sometimes, we need volunteers, right?
Yeah.
Someone's reach out, and it's like, you know, out of like 10, maybe 1 might actually come, because a lot of people are busy.
So,
right?
Okay, so talking about the people being busy, right? So when you look at people from our generation and let's say our level, they're getting busier. People get married, family, you know, other obligations that's catching up.
Yeah.
So who's the perfect candidate for volunteers and giving time is the new generation.
Yeah.
Right? New generations, they're
because they have
playing video games and home and doing virtually all these other things like games and class at the same time, right?
Yeah.
They have the time. How can we reach them, right? Because if you really look at the groups, if you really look at who can, you know, give you that time, who can be more involved and who can innovate, it's them. They got that mindset of how to use this technology and AI and, you know, online resources to expand it, make it bigger, make it better.
Yeah.
Right? So how do you reach that?
Yeah, but I think we need to really think of a way to change their mentality, because I really think that they...
But you can't change
No. Let me tell you what part I'm talking about.
You can shift it.
You can, but what I'm talking about in the fact of, like, you know, going back to the, like, oh yeah, I'll help out, I'll donate $1 or $2, right? Like, what we really need more in the community, like she said, is getting people involved more.
Involved.
I think the younger generations, I feel like
he's right.
They're not getting more involved.
But why?
They're not.
Because the older ones
no one's showing them a path how to get involved. They're not showing them the path. No one showed me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I knew my parents went to, okay, they always told us, like, okay, donate money, go to the mosque, give $1 or $2, this and that, right? I knew that aspect, right? But getting involved, I had to kind of make my own path, right? Yeah. If I had never made that post on Facebook, I wouldn't be sitting here, you know, having an organization, whatever it is, right? I kind of took that leap because I wanted to get involved. I forced myself. Like, I would, like, if someone posts something, I would respond and be like, oh, what do you need help with? Like, let me see how I can help you, right? It started with me just working by myself, right? And getting a few friends together and kind of doing it that way. But then I wanted more than that. I was like, listen, like, I want to have a bigger impact. So, I mean,
so my question is, how do we light that fire? That fire you just described.
So we got to keep going, right? So for example, in my for me, it was a little bit different because my dad was very heavily involved in the community. He did a lot of charity, just not just donating money, just being there and helping out the communities.
Yeah.
And also, like, we have an orphanage back home, and like I will always hear him on the phone talking. Like, it's more than money. It's like managing how to run the orphanage from here. And that motivated me too. I'm like, wow, you know, one of the biggest important things is orphanage, you know? Like, that's like something you great to do, but it's not about the money all the time.
It's not.
It's very important to be involved. And I feel like the generation of before us and like even the older siblings people haven't done it. That's why the younger generation see it as not as important. Yeah. And it's just dissolving away. So that's what I mean. We have to be so aggressive with it in a way that they have to see, like, oh, this is something.
You have to see where the money is going. Like, what, you know, the thing is, like, you have to bring value to someone's life, right? Yeah. So if I give you $1, like, oh, it's going to this orphanage, okay, great, right? But now if I take you with that $1 to the orphanage and you see the orphanage and you see the kids that you're making an impact on, you'll remember that for the rest of your life. You know? So, like, until you see it with your own eyes, you're not going to know.
Like, for example, how you go on Thanksgiving to the food pantry out in the city, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when you are serving, it's not, like I said, it's not about the money. When you are serving these food to these people and you are talking to them, the feeling is different. It's totally different.
Yeah. And that's one of the, like I said, right? So for me, I do it because the feeling it gives, and also something I do every year. Like at least once a year, I like to go to a food pantry, give out the food, and kind of like be involved in that level. Obviously, COVID has an impact on that. So my thought that I always think about is, how can I enlighten that or light that fire in my brother, right? Where he wants to do that too, where he's gonna be involved. And the way I think about it is, maybe I can take him with me next year, right? And then he'll see it, maybe he'll get the feeling. Or maybe he'll like, I'd rather be home and play my video games.
No, but even if he does that, you still planted a seed in him, and maybe
future,
a few years from now he'll remember that for the rest of his life. That my brother took me once, and it'll hit him one day, and then he'll start following. You know, it's like how our parents raised us. There's always a few things that resonate with you for the rest of your life, even though you don't follow it. Then you'll be like, oh yeah, like I remember my parents used to tell me that, or my mom used to tell me. You know what I mean? Like. So it's kind of like one of those things, but you can't stop just because he didn't change overnight. Yeah.
Well, that leads me to my next point, platforms.
Yeah.
Right? So we're used to using Facebook, and I know your platform is big on Facebook. You guys have all the member. But is the new generation using the same platform?
They're not using Facebook.
I don't know anybody who's on Facebook.
Yeah.
Are you guys on TikTok? They're using TikTok.
They're using TikTok.
We're on
TikTok.
Oh, come on, you're falling behind. I'm already on TikTok. Snapchat is old.
It's not showing that, right? Because the new generation is all on TikTok, right? So
I'm on TikTok. You catch me on TikTok. I'm keeping up with the young generation.
Started a platform.
I'm not trying to fall behind.
Yeah. You have pretty good content on TikTok too.
I mean, it's okay, right?
One of your TikTok video, or your sister, it has like almost 300K, no?
Yeah, because she embarrassed me, my brothers, man.
But the point is, it reached 300,000 people.
Yeah,
right?
So there you go. So, I mean, all these platforms are there for us to use, right? It's the way we utilize it, right?
And it's free.
It's free.
But he does have a point, right?
Yeah.
So, like, for example, Muskir is huge on Facebook, right? Who uses Facebook nowadays? Our generation and our parents more than us.
Yeah.
Our parents love Facebook. I don't know about your parents. My parents love Facebook.
Yeah. I get what you mean. Yeah.
So the younger generations are not on Facebook at all anymore. Yeah. They're using it on TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah. You know? So we're on Instagram.
Yeah. So how do you
have something new? Not Reels.
Yeah.
So you got to be on Reels, not just on Instagram.
Yeah. You have to make a video and then upload it on Reels. Yeah.
Which is like the TikTok basically, right? Yeah. But like, how do you take that now, and like, what is your plans for Muskir, for example, taking it a bigger scale? Like, I can see it going to a bigger scale.
Yeah, right? Of course, yeah.
Because with the mindset you guys have, and like the drive that you have, I can see it going to a bigger scale. And honestly, I could even see uniting all organizations together.
Yeah.
For doing a lot of projects.
So that's what our goal is. That's what we're always doing, working with other organizations, because we want to make them feel like we're not just like this one organization and we just work on our own and we're not open to anything. You know, we're always open to working with organizations. So we always put that out there. But in terms of expanding, I feel like we still want to grow our Facebook page. We still want to create a bigger platform. I know we did get big over the years, but we want to continue expanding that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, and then kind of maybe focus on other, because our team right now, it's 6. We're 6 admins, right? Like we're the ones that are like basically doing all the work. In terms of launching projects, working on projects, funding, all of that combined. Yeah. So right now our main goal is just working on that Facebook group, and then like maybe start like youth circles where we do bring like, because of COVID, a lot of our plans actually stopped. We were actually going to launch like a youth circle thing where like we would have activities for kids who are younger and bring them out too, and have like, a brothers and a sister separate group, and then like bring them out and get them involved.
Do you guys have a website for Muskir?
Yep, it's muskir.org.
Okay.
And if you go on there, we have everything.
The $1 a day program that you guys have is still running?
Yeah.
So how does that work exactly?
So you set up your monthly recurring payments. You can put $1, $5, whatever you want. Yeah. We start off with $1, right? And then we put up 3 causes, and you vote for which one you want all the money to go to.
Yeah.
So right now...
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't even hurt your wallet.
Like,
it just goes.
Like somebody donates $1. Doesn't a portion of that goes to processing fees?
Oh, yeah.
So there's another thing that we do. So in terms of like other expenses.
Okay.
Is that what you're asking? Like
no. I mean, like let's say you give $1. Let's say I go to the website $1, right?
Yeah.
isn't portion of that dollar goes to like processing fee that you lose almost? You're not really
there's a small percent that is charged because we can't control that.
Okay, so you
get $5.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I get $5.
Yeah.
$1. Okay.
So I want to comment on something because you were talking about Facebook heavily. I was watching this podcast yesterday where they're talking about Vine. You guys remember Vine, right?
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, I do.
So what happened was when a lot of those content creators were on Vine and they were making Vines, they were not utilizing other platforms. So when Vine died, they died.
Yeah.
Mm.
So like for example, Logan Paul. Logan Paul was one of the biggest Viner, right?
Yeah.
But he was utilizing. Is there Viner, right?
I don't know.
I think so.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm a Viner.
He was utilizing YouTube and other platforms at the same time too.
Yeah.
So that's why he never fell. So back to what I was gonna say is like Facebook is important, right?
Yeah.
But then other platforms
so
are important
that's why
too.
now we're pushing our Instagram more too.
Gotcha.
We started putting more content on there. Whatever we post on the Facebook page, we post on Instagram now. I think we have a LinkedIn as well. So we're slowly making our way into. So we haven't gotten to the making the videos like someone TikTok and all that. None of that just yet.
I mean, listen, you can definitely help out.
If you want to help us out,
I got you.
Yeah, because the point on that is like it's you have to adjust and you have to move, right?
Of course, yeah.
So you can have like 5 views on Instagram, but then you will have like 30,000 views on TikTok because of the TikTok algorithm, right? Although we hear all this media, all this crazy stuff, but the point is they figure something out. They implemented AI for you to predict what you want to see next, and that's the beauty of it. Yeah. Right. So I'm sure you can,
I mean, I learned it from my sister, to be honest with you. She's on TikTok all the time, and she.
So you guys are a TikTok family now, huh?
I mean, maybe me, my sister, my brothers. The other ones, they aren't much tech guys like that, you know. Yeah, I mean, it's very important in business in general to always be like. That's why I always talk to little kids. Like, I want to see what you guys are doing. What are you guys up to?
Yeah, because you learn from them.
Yeah, you learn a lot from them. There's so much things they do. Like I was on the phone with my nephew.
Yeah.
And he was just like, Sasa, I found your other YouTube channel. He's like 8 years old or something like that. And he's telling me he made a YouTube channel too. Oh, wow. He's like, can you subscribe to my YouTube channel? I was like, yeah, sure. Send me the link.
Yeah.
His YouTube, the 8-year-old. His YouTube channel.
He plays Call of Duty,
and they record it, right?
He records it and he puts it up there, and it's serious level stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, some of these channels get views.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with
you. You guys have YouTube?
We don't have a YouTube, but that's another thing that we wanted to start.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're talking about YouTube. TikTok.
Yeah.
You guys are already tackling Instagram.
We're on Instagram, Facebook. Where I do want to work on an app, and then we do want to come on.
We might see Iqra on TikTok tomorrow.
You never know. This might motivate her,
Yeah.
Start making TikTok videos.
You being our first female guest, and you're not just any normal female guest. You are an entrepreneur. You're not normal.
I'm abnormal.
You're abnormal in our community. Yes, you are.
You're passionate.
When the Desi community looks at a career path, and this is one of the reasons why we started Chai and Chat, obviously, is because, Desi parents always want their kids to be either doctor, engineer, or lawyer.
Yeah.
So we always like to tackle the people who did the abnormal thing.
Yeah.
And they chose why did they choose that? Why did they do that?
Yeah.
But you are a double standard over here because you're a female abnormal.
Yeah.
It's also wrong to say this, but it is what it is.
It's a challenge. Yeah.
So, what is your advice to other females who are trying to get into entrepreneurship, and why should they get into entrepreneurship, or why should they get into nonprofit organizations? Like, for example, say a girl, she's going to college and her parents are forcing her to do med school, for example.
Okay.
But that's not her passion.
Yeah.
She might be very creative. Yeah. And a lot of kids nowadays are very creative.
And then you limit them because you don't let them.
So, what is your advice to them?
I honestly think that, from my personal experience, I just think that do what makes you happy. Right? And in that, if you do what makes you happy in the end, when you have your results and everything, everyone will see like you chose the right path for yourself, right? Whereas you can go to med school and you can listen to what your parents said, and then in the end, you're not going to be happy, right?
Yeah.
Or you'll just settle for, okay, I did med school now, I might as well just complete it and continue my career, right? But at the end of the day, you're not going to be happy, and that's what people lack. Like they're after either money, or they're after satisfying people around them, but they're not looking for their own happiness, right? Yeah. People are deciding their happiness for them.
Chasing money doesn't get you happiness.
So that's the biggest thing.
So you said chasing money is not happiness, right?
Yeah.
Now, fundamentally, this is, I want to respond to that as I'm a guest now.
Okay.
I want to respond to that.
How you doing, huh?
I'm good. How are you? So look, I think the reason why our parents want us to be lawyers and doctors and
it's good careers.
Stability,
right? There's money.
Yes.
These are secure fields.
Yeah.
But because of COVID, what's happening now? Because of technology, what's happening now?
Yeah, but
because look, I always say this to everybody, right?
Yeah.
Now, you could be a lawyer. Let's say somebody is studying right now, wanting to be a lawyer or a doctor. Mm-hmm. This is a 4 or 5 year course.
Yeah.
4 or 5 years down the line, are you going to be at the same level of demand that we have today? Because that's where people make the mistake.
Mm-hmm. People
make a mistake. All right, I'm going to go into this field, and 4 or 5 years down the line, I'm going to become a doctor. But 4 or 5 years down the line, who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah.
The one thing COVID taught us, right, is that there's not a single career path that's stable and secure forever. So right? Anything can change.
So one thing I realized from entrepreneurs that I've talked to and I've seen, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to be comfortable with instability.
Yeah, that's true.
So let me ask you a question. Are you comfortable with instability? I mean, you're a guy who went from working to 9 to 5 to now being full-time undefended.
Yeah.
Would you imagine that you were going to be doing that before?
Never.
Are your days the same?
That's what I'm saying. Like it's what do you mean in terms
of in your days? Like, are you doing the same thing every day?
No.
Like, do you have randomly something come up?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are not used to that.
Yeah.
There might be a
lot of people are living the basic the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And they come home and they start again the next day 9 to 5, right? Yeah. Which is fine. It's respectful.
The 9 to 5 gym, food, spend some time with family, sleep.
Start over again. People like you, us three, who are in the business, we're not okay with that, and that's why we're
I feel like we strive more when there's instability
because we don't work in a set scheduled environment. We don't grow.
Yeah.
We feel like our life is at a standstill, right? And we're just stuck in this like bubble, and we're not growing out of it, right? That's why we're always on the move. A business keeps you up on your feet.
Yes.
There's no time. There's no downtime. Yeah. The day you have downtime is the day you're probably going to wake up with more work to do or catching up from the day before, So if you're not okay with that, and if you're not okay with being alone for, if you're not okay with your own company, then it's not for you. Because we were talking before, when you're starting off, right, how lonely is it?
It's very lonely.
Your friends don't see the vision as you do, right? Yeah. They're supportive.
Sometimes you don't even consult with your friends.
Exactly. Yeah. You just kind of do it, right? Yeah. And it kind of just all right, here it is, guys. Support it or don't support it.
I was telling you earlier, one of the things when you asked me that question, one of the things, the beauty is now, me and him been partnered for about 2.5 years.
Yeah.
We've been working on Defended. And I always tell him, we're always boosting each other.
Yeah.
But
let's say you didn't have him now.
It's very lonely. It's still lonely, but it's sort of
yourself and your thoughts, right? Because 99% of the time you're sitting there in your room with your thoughts.
Yes.
And you are your own fan and your own support system. And your own should I do it this way or that way? There's not much people to consult to.
Not to mention the parents doesn't help. They're like, oh, what are you doing? Go become a doctor. Go become a lawyer. Go back to school. Go do this.
Go get a job.
But you don't have that. We don't in our community. We don't have that drive from our parents, and I think that's the number one problem we have. That our parents are not supportive. Anything outside of doctor, lawyers.
It's not their fault because from where they come from back home. Society-wise, that's what they were taught, right?
Yeah.
If you didn't become a doctor, lawyer, engineer, you weren't going to be stable in life, right?
Yeah.
So for girls, get it worse, right? If you're not going to study, you're going to get married, right? That's your fate, right? If you're not studious and if you're not doing anything in your life, you just get married off and you get married to someone that can support you, and that's your done deal.
So talking about lonely, right? Well, we talk on that topic, right? A lot of girls, obviously, what you just said, they get the pressure of choosing a career mostly in the younger age.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it like the pressure of marriage at a young age from a female perspective? Because girls get it harder, right?
Yeah. So
and especially being, you wanna choose a career path, or even being a doctor. Doctor is a long time, or a business. You're not ready yet. What's that like?
For a lot of girls, it's they're told that they're gonna get married by this age, or some. Obviously, every family is different, right? So I'm just talking about the general desi population towards girls, right? They'll be told by 23, 24, you'll most likely be married. They're kind of embedded that marriage is coming up. So you'll start hearing it by 17, 18, 19. Oh, you get married, you start hearing marriage, right? So psychologically, it suppresses your creativity because you're if I pursue something, I'm gonna get married anyways. Like,
what bother?
And when you get married, it seems like it's like the end
of the world.
End of the world for you.
Yeah.
Now you can't do anything. Now you are about your husband and your family.
Yeah.
It's not about you anymore.
Yeah.
You're getting married to support your husband and your kids' future, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of take the back seat now, and that's what desi women are told to do, right? And that's why there's a lot of females that don't get to do or reach their potential. Or whatever their goals were. They're always had like, oh yeah, I had a dream that I wanted to do this, but I couldn't because I got married, right?
Yeah.
Or I have a kid now.
Yeah.
I can't do this because I have a kid now. My thing is that whether you have a husband or a family or whatever it is, like there's always time that you can work towards yourself and take time aside for yourself, and you should be with someone who's supportive about it, right? So, so I just feel like girls definitely get more of the pressure of getting married before 25 and like, you should have a family by this age. You shouldn't take such a long career path because you need to take care of a family, right? And taking care of a family, there's nothing wrong with it. But then there's also the other side of girls that want to go to, like, there's girls that don't want to study and don't want to pursue.
They like the home.
They like, and that's fine, okay, that's what makes you happy. But then what about the girls that do want to? Why are we told not to? And there's another thing, like, we're not told to have financial independence, right? We're kind of told to get married and, like,
hitting the right topic.
Your husband will take care of you. But, like, what's wrong with the woman taking care of herself? There's nothing wrong with that, right? So I feel like in our homes we need that conversation where you become independent, right? Why teach the girl to be dependent on someone else?
How do you have that conversation?
Where do you start?
Yeah. Who do you start with? Like, say a girl wants to have this conversation, right? Who does she have this conversation with? Because when you look at it like this, right, a girl is getting married, right? We're not. Our culture is so different because when you get married, you're getting married to a family, right? Yeah. So you got your own parents, then you got his own parents too. Like, he has his own ideas, his parents have their own ideas. So where do you go first?
Well, you have to find a middle ground that's gonna be like, you can't bring a girl into your family and expect her to please everybody. You know? She's also getting adjusted to this new environment and everything. And her brought up was different from where she came from. So you gotta have to look at it from her perspective too. And your family is like, you guys are family, but she's family through marriage, right? So she didn't really grow up with everybody in your family, and she's a new person, right? Adjusting. So I feel like a lot of the desi culture has to take a step back and let like women kind of figure themselves out when they first get married in and not worry about pleasing everybody.
I disagree with you slightly when you say take a step back. I think they should be stepping forward, right? And what I mean by that is like communication, right? I think, yes, you have the in-laws, you have your own family, you have everything else, but I think the most important thing is that you got to have that conversation with your significant other,
that's very
with the person you're getting married to, and express that. Say, listen, I have ambition of doing X, Y, and Z. I always had a dream of doing that. Because I think what happens is a lot of times they don't talk about it, and then after they get married, they're like, this is not what I want.
No,
I want something different.
Before you get married, definitely like lay out your goals, lay out what you want to do in your life, what your all your career goals are, your personal goals are. Everything should be laid out because it shouldn't come as a surprise after marriage. Like
I think that's a huge problem in our community. It's so, like, for example, a lot of times when it's like when couples are getting married and they've been dating for like 3, 4, 5 years and they've known each other. And it's all false hopes and false lies. And once you get married, I mean, marriage is a total different ballgame. Then you like, okay, what happened to this? What happened to that? This is what I wanted to do.
Like you're a different person. You're not the same anymore, right?
But it should. You're right. You have to keep the marriage, right? You have to keep it working.
Like if you have a goal, like if a girl wants to run her own business, right? The family who she's getting married into should know and understand what kind of girl she is. And this is how she is. This is with the business. She's a business mentality. She runs a business.
I'm also going to disagree with you slightly on that one.
Because
the family's never going to get it. That's the problem.
Their mindset.
But they don't have to get it. I'm not saying they're never going to get it. I'm not saying they have to get it.
They have to be okay with it.
They have to understand it. They don't even have to be okay with it. The problem is, majority of the time, the guys are not telling their parents. As a girl, you're gonna go be disrespectfully rude and just straight up. There's a way of telling the parents, his parents, but the guy's job is to tell
it out to his parents.
Like if a girl was getting married to a guy, the guy should tell his parents, hey, this is how she is. I just want to let you guys know this is the girl I'm marrying. She's gonna be maybe doing night shifts sometimes, morning shifts. I just want to make sure you guys are okay with it. You know. Again, very clear.
I'm gonna disagree a little bit on that.
But that's fine.
My thing is, my thing is, forget about the parents. Okay. Forget about your parents and my parents. It's between me and my wife, right?
No,
if I know that, you know, my life decisions, I have to run through my parents, and then based on what she's gonna do is gonna be a problem. Yes, me as an adult, understanding that, I need to involve them. But me, like if my parents are my parents, they have mindsets, they know what they like, they know what they want, and that's never gonna change because they're already at that age of.
What you're trying to say, like, if he's okay with it, right? It's between him and your wife.
That's it. No, but I get that part, right? That's like step one, obviously. Yeah. I'm talking about step two. The parents do need to. It's based on how you are going into this marriage too, right?
Yeah.
If you're not thinking of planning on living with your parents and stuff like that, then it's okay. But if you have your family involved in stuff like that, then you have to. You have to be very transparent with that stuff.
The understanding, that's what he said. There has to be an understanding. Like, listen, like, they should know how the girl is or how the guy is from day one. They can't be like, okay, like, you can't marry to change somebody.
Yeah.
You know? You're marrying them as they are. Right?
Yeah.
You know, if they happen to change later, that's like, okay, you lucked out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you're not.
Wow, shit, that's like 99% of the marriage.
That's another thing, you know,
people don't change just that like that.
No one changes. If you've been like that for 25 years, you're going to be like that for another 25.
No, it's just that you've seen a false hope. It happens too much in the community.
It does, because
in relationships, it happens a lot.
The expectations are there.
And I'm talking about, like, you know, I've seen a lot of people like this. That's why I'm talking about how it is, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why I say, like, communication is hands down the most important thing in a relationship. With your parents, with your husband, your wife, anybody, you know? So it's very important.
You know, being open about your passion and your drive, number one key on top of the topic list.
Yeah, so talking with someone like me, I know, like, I don't fall into the general category of a typical desi or regular desi female, right? Like,
I'm sorry, you don't. But it's awesome.
I don't.
Yeah.
So I already know, like, you know, like when I tell people about my back, you know, what I do and this and that, it's like for them, it's like a little outside of what they
for them it's too much to handle, probably. They probably get scared.
They get scared. Because, you know, entrepreneurship and the passion that you are, the drive that you're pushing, right? It's so impossible a lot of times for people to understand. Because what you feel, the fire that's inside of you that wants to give back, that wants to start the not-for-profit, that wants to go to the community and do things, right? It's like some people, if you don't come from that background, you don't understand it.
Let's look at it like this, right? For a desi guy to come into a place to, you know, have a relationship with you, for example, right? He must be threatened by you in a way, you know?
But we see it on TV shows all the time. That when the female goes up in the ladder in the corporate world, the husband can't stand the fact that she's making more money. She's holding more powerful position. So, like, I'm
going to turn this question back on you guys. So let's say if you were with
we're the
female,
guest now.
This is the chat part of chat.
So if you're with females who are making more money than you, does it bother you guys? As men?
It doesn't bother me at all.
I want to stay home. And
I
want to stay home and take care of the kids.
It doesn't bother me at all.
It doesn't bother me at all. You're totally.
But we're different though, right?
Okay.
So what about, you know? Maybe we should ask other guys this question.
A lot of guys are not okay with that.
But we are totally different. I feel like for example, me and him, our mindset and everything's totally different from regular desi guys. But a lot of guys are not comfortable with that.
Because they want to be that person.
They want to be a man.
They want to
be. They want to wear the pants.
Yeah.
They want to be in control.
Yeah.
They want to provide, right?
Yeah.
And it's just the concept of my wife doing that.
Farouk's ready to retire right now. If his wife's bringing this.
If my wife tells me you don't have to work anymore,
he's ready.
I will gladly. Here, take my pants.
I think it should.
Okay. You wear the pants. That's it.
So it's gone, my friend.
Listen, brother. It's not about Izzat. It's about understanding and being happy. I'm happy being home.
I hope his dad doesn't watch this show because this is a wrap for him.
Take my pants.
Again, I didn't mean the literal sense. I meant, like, you know, like the concept of.
I don't know if viewers are going to take that line, but let's just leave it for them to be the judge.
Wow, that's a lot of topic.
Yeah.
So if you could say something to the female entrepreneurs out there.
Yeah.
For like 1 minute, like talk to them heart to heart.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe like do it over here. So we'll do like a 1 minute.
To say.
Go ahead. Throw it out.
I would tell them to not let fear get to them and just whatever is on your mind, just put it out there and go for it. And don't think about rejection. Don't think about what people are thinking about you. What people will say, any opinions, it doesn't matter. Just put your head to it and go for it. because that's the only thing that holds people back. They doubt themselves.
Yeah.
Oh, what if I get a no? What if no one's gonna like this? What if this? What if that? Right? You create that in your head, right? And then when you start actually doing, you realize, oh, it's not that bad. People are actually supporting you, and you get but you're not gonna know until you put it out there.
Yeah.
You know. So that's what I feel holds a lot of, and then cultural expectation for females, right? Yeah. I think that's really important that you lay it out. Like if you have families that are a little bit more, they want to have a certain timeline set for you, you have to speak up. A lot of women don't want to speak up. Their fear of disappointing their families, right? That's another thing.
Yeah.
So just speaking up and kind of letting them know that, hey, listen, this is what I want to do, and this is how I want to set my life and what I want to do for the future.
And this also applies to the guys too.
Yes.
Well, I feel like guys don't get it as much. You guys have a little bit more of a free hand to do a lot more than women.
Yes, but that's changing, right?
Yeah, it is changing slowly.
Slowly,
but we're still not there.
We didn't have it that easy, okay?
Okay, listen, all you have to worry about is getting a good job.
I mean, but I mean, you're saying choosing the way our lifestyle, career-wise and stuff. We didn't have it easy either, But you're right, girls have it way worse than us, you know. One of the things is honestly, we're really happy that you came on China Chat because we want to motivate more people, especially in the females to choose a different path, creativity, nonprofit, entrepreneurship. We all need motivation. We all have things running through our head, and the channel we created was for stuff like that. And especially in our community, we want to motivate more people to get out there, do things, and be abnormal. I love that.
Bring it out. Bring the passion.
I'm gonna create a T-shirt. That's I'm say be abnormal. China Chat. That's my tagline. Really good. Yeah. Iqra, thank you for coming on China Chat. It was awesome talking to you. I mean,
and we have to get it.
We learned a lot of things.
Those projects coming out.
Yeah, we're gonna get you back on here.
Sure. Because
we want to see what's going on with Iqra.
Sure.
And why don't you tell us where people can find you on social media platforms and stuff like that?
In terms of my personal page.
I mean, do you have things on you? Do you put content on your personal page?
I do, yeah. So I mean, you guys can follow my Muskare, the Muskare page. That's where we post all our projects.
We can add the link to that.
Yeah. So that's our Instagram, and the Facebook group is Muskare Group. A lot of people try to go on the Muskare Facebook page and try to find it.
Okay.
But you got to actually search Muskare Group and add yourself there, and that's where you can join and see all the projects we're working on there.
And regardless of your affiliation to religion or the type or individual, you can join.
Yeah,
it's open to all.
So it's actually
or not.
It's not really.
It's not really.
But you can. If you say
don't
yes.
Don't tell me that if you're gonna come at me and be like, "Hey, I'm here," I'm gonna say no, right?
Yeah.
But you have to kind of.
His guidelines is
guidelines.
Yeah. So what about your business? What's the
Bestcore Facebook page only?
No Instagram?
No, we had an Instagram. We don't have Instagram anymore. Because
and
all
what's
my
the
parents
website?
are on Facebook.
Oh, what's the Instagram?
Facebook.com/Bestcore.
Bestcore.
That's the website.
Can you spell it out for us? Just
BESTSCORE.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the website?
www.bestscorelearning.com.
Okay, so if anybody wants to get tutoring, doesn't matter anywhere in New York City they live, right?
It does out of state at this point. You can just go to the contact us, and there's an inquiry form there, and we'll get it directly.
Awesome. So if you guys need tutoring, need help, want to give back to the community, Iqra's here. And
one more thing, sorry.
Yeah.
For tutors. Are you hiring tutors?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so if you go on the website, you can apply directly on the website.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. They don't have to, they can be anywhere, right?
Yeah, they can be anywhere at this point, yeah.
Awesome. So if you guys need tutoring, if you guys want to give back to the community, like we said, we all spoke about it.
Yeah.
More than money is getting involved in the community. So get as involved as you can. And right now, during COVID, I mean, this is hard times for everybody.
Yeah.
Time is what everybody has.
Yeah.
Donate your time.
Donate your time. Yeah. That's important. Yes. Yeah. And just get involved. And if you need tutoring, Iqra's here for you guys. Iqra, thank you very much for coming on China Chat. We are super excited to get this episode out to the people. Yeah. And one last thing, guys, make sure you guys subscribe, share to all your family and friends, your mom, dad, your
grandma. For the parents. Except my parents.
You know what the biggest thing is? We need the desi, the South Asian, the Muslim, every community, to share these stuff, share these platforms. And if you guys have anybody in mind that you guys want to be on this show, just comment and we'll reach out to them,
Yeah.
Thank you and have a good one, guys.
Chai out.
Chai out.